Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is an Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament semifinals match of the 2022 Intermediate Tak Tournament. And this is between MediocreTaborlin and Ineria. Now, this is the semifinals. Like I said, whoever wins this goes on to face Raymond in the finals of this tournament. And so that is pretty exciting. And I believe, let's take a look here. AUP21 is going to be there for the third place match. So whoever who loses this goes on to face AUP21 to see who gets third place. And then this is going to be a pretty big one. MediocreTaborlin has been playing for quite a while, but not really consistently. But since probably 2016, I believe. And Ineria is slightly newer, but did win that beginner tournament last year at some point. So you'll also notice that this is a different look here. I'm playing on the playtak.com beta, as you can see. This is the dark mode that we are, testing out to make sure that it's working well. And the table as well, bringing it back to the old fork that we used to have, the Trefnon fork. So this is a different aesthetic that we're looking at here, and I love it, and I think it looks great. And yeah, we're ready to go. Just as soon as MediocreTaborlin and Ineria make this seek, we'll be ready to start this game one of the semifinals of this Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament match. All right, here we go with game one. This is MediocreTaborlin in white and Ineria in black. And we see A1 as the first move, and then adjacent corners here, going straight for that center control, and then black immediately playing over here at E2 to sort of cut that away from that initial piece. This is an interesting strategy. I haven't seen too much of this play in a while. It's been quite some time since we've seen that opening sequence. White going straight now for that horizontal line, and black just taking momentum right away. Really just pushing for that threat, but then sees that opening here. These two diagonally connected pieces going to drop a capstone there so it cannot be isolated, and also really just get in the mix of everything that white is building. White now kind of building for this horizontal line up above, and also cutting off black's ability to go for this vertical threat that they were building. Black now building up here at B4. This is able to get into the mix. White going to place here at C5. Continue going for this horizontal line. Both players playing extremely quick. This is a 15-minute on the clock game with 10-second increment. So both playing well below that 10-second increment as they are both above 15 minutes on the clock here. White now continuing to build for this horizontal threat. Black may decide to bring up this capstone here in the next move or so to solidify that. No, going to drop a flat here. And this is able to cut this off with probably a B4 plus and then continue to go for this vertical threat while at the same time cutting off white's horizontal. White not dismayed, going to keep placing. Now white basically has to either come down with this move or come left with C5. It's exactly what they do. They cut that off. This is where I'm assuming black is going to drop a wall here, potentially at B4, potentially at C5. One of those two places would probably be the best spot for a wall, and then yep, it's exactly what they do. Now able to come over onto B5. White may decide to move that. No, drops the capstone instead, ready to come up and smash that wall as soon as it captures and really make that a very, very strong position. Black moving their own wall upwards, knowing that they're in trouble here. Black also, this capstone upward, not wall. This capstone coming upwards does help stop white's horizontal threat going on this end, but also black can capture their own wall here, smash it on C5, and then be able to throw that left for a road. However, can't do that anymore because white has now basically pinned it. If black comes up with that capstone, white can just place here at F3 for the road. This is a really, really tricky position here for black. White is strongly in control of this game. Let's see, what can black do to get out of this one? Yeah, it looks like black is just going to keep playing down here now, go for this horizontal threat below. I think that's a good play. White probably going to play at f2, keep black from making that connection in the horizontal direction, but also be able to go up. No, going to instead play here, continue going for that horizontal line, knowing that white has momentum and can definitely afford that. And if black starts to play here to block it, white continues to play below and then goes for that vertical line and also cuts off black's horizontal. This is, again, looking pretty rough for black. White is strongly in control of this one. All right, the f5 play. White may be looking to self-capture up here onto b5 and go for that tak threat. That would be a very, very difficult thing to stop. And I don't think it may actually be Tinue if he does it, but I'm not sure. There's some interplay here. If he comes up, black captures down, and white comes over with the top three. Then he can spread out here, but then black moves the wall over, and then I think it'll work out, and it won't end up being Tinue that way, but it's dang close. And I think Ineria is spotting that right now, placing that second wall. Smart move there. Ready to come up and capture onto e5 if white comes up and captures onto that b5 stack. Very, very smart move. Definitely helps avoid that Tinue situation. Now white thinking maybe gonna have to change some gears here. Playing over here at c2 would actually be a tak threat for white. And I think that would be an interesting play because it's not as apparent. Dropping a flat at c2 sure captures up, but you may be thinking, oh, just going for this direction. But it's already got the anchor point over here at f5, so that would be, in fact, a road, just circumventing that capstone. White instead going to be playing over at f3, going for, I guess, the vertical line. I'm a little surprised to see f3, to be honest. I would have expected a c2 or an f2. The c2 and f2 both work to stop the vertical threat and the horizontal threat that black is going for. Black brings that wall over. Not sure why bringing that wall over. White going to be placing up here at b6, going for that vertical line now, or potentially going around to go for the horizontal still. Playing up at c6 and d6 again would be the road there. Again, surprised not to see a c2 placement. Ineria doesn't really have a lot of options in terms of how to make a tak threat here. Very, very little road potential in the next few moves. I think black is trying, I think with this wall movement, they were trying to come down eventually onto d3 so they could smash this wall and come left for a road. But now white's got that road threat. Black has to stop that, probably by coming left with d2 to keep that capture from happening. White's got that c2 threat in. c2 plus would be the road. Again, c2 plus is portable tak notation. We see that off to the left here. That is how we describe these moves of tak, is with the portable tak notation. And you can learn all about that in the Tak University video, Portable Tak Notation, or PTN. All right, black brings that wall down. to stop that threat. White immediately captures upwards, going for their own horizontal threat up here. And then black throws that wall up above. Interesting sequence right here. Interesting sequence. Wonder how this is going to play out. It still looks like black is quite a bit behind. White is firmly in control. However, there is some room to breathe now for black. Black could make their own tack threat by placing here at f2. Because white currently does not have one. Though they do have one on the next turn, they don't have one currently. If black plays at f2, white could come left with c2 and make that vertical tack threat. All right, we do see the f2 placement. This is a tack threat from black. Black can come down with c2, and white does, c3. White does take c2 left and capture onto b2. This is now a vertical tack threat for a white. Black can cut that off in a number of ways. They decide to bring that capstone over finally and cut that thread off. White now has to think, all right, what is the best move here to renew my threats, keep this going, and put the pressure on? And it might be something like c4 or d3. I like d3. No, c4 I think is more important. c4 works. But actually, no. Because black has momentum here. Black placing at c2 on the next turn would give them a tack threat. Same with d3. Both of those would work. Same with c4. Same with capturing down with the capstone onto b3. Black has a lot of options here to make a tack threat on the next turn or so. I do still think, though, that white wants to place something in here. Probably at c4. They can come up with f1 if they need to cut this off, and I think that'll work out just fine. Yeah, I think c4 is good. It places some pressure there. It's not making a tack threat, but it's setting up for one, and it's also making black is able to make a threat, but it's going to be cut off quickly, and that's something that black wouldn't be able to immediately renew. So I think that would work out just fine, placing over at c4. That's exactly what he does. Places at c4. We take a look at the time. They're both basically even here. Just under 13 minutes on the clock. Playing a fairly quick game. Again, they only have a 10-second increment in this tournament. All right, what are we going to see from black? Is black going to make the play at d3 or c2 to make that tack threat? I like c2 a little bit better for the threat for black because it can be made either by capturing down with the capstone here or here. And so it would force something to happen on this side, either e3 coming down, unlikely, or f1 coming up, or f3 coming down. I think f1 coming up is the most likely move there, but I think that's a pretty solid move, is just putting that out there, forcing that move, and then trying to do something else. I think, though, d3 is where he wants to play it. No, he's going to play the c2. Now we're probably going to see the f1 happen. No, we're seeing e3 minus. That's surprising. Well, I think the idea is if black wants to recapture that at some point, they can do that with f2 left, but white can drop a wall here and recapture that, or if they don't, if they decide to place maybe a black flat at e3 or at e1, then white can just place at e4 and make that tack threat. Black going to be placing at e4 to stop that from happening, it looks like. This is an interesting one. Black is making a comeback here. Let's take a look at the flat count also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for black. And that's a 2 Comey, so that's 12. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for white. So they are even in terms of flats. Let's take a look at the reserves. White has fewer reserves here. Black now playing at D3 after white's play at E3. Filling in here, white no tack threat, black no tack threat. I think black may want to finally capture over here onto E2. It would likely lead to a capture war with E3 coming down, black ultimately winning, but giving room for a white wall to drop and interrupt a lot of the action that that black has been going for here. Ooh, okay, so we see white now playing at E1, going for this vertical threat now. Playing for the vertical line. And also ensuring that white will win this capture war on E2. Some good plays here, some good plays. White, I would say now is in control of this game again. I mean, black was making a pretty good comeback, but white's got a lot of room to breathe now and is building multiple threats. Black is kind of struggling to keep up here. And that struggle is going to continue, I think, for a while. Black may decide to fill in here at F4 to keep white from just placing here to continue that threat. However, white can place up maybe at E6 or at F6 to continue making that tack threat, because then they've got this D4 right move that can continue and make that road. So I think we're going to see... Oh, instead black is playing down at D1, interestingly. Not sure why that's being played. Now there is also the possibility of black taking their own capstone, moving it left onto A4 at some point, making that tack threat, forcing this capstone to move left. I'm not sure what that would really do in the long run. It might open things up for white some more. But I think that's more of a last-ditch effort once all the other plans and options have been exhausted. White now playing at F4, filling in here, going for this tack threat. Now black has to make some sort of capture here, and it is not looking good. White, will they capture down, or will they capture up onto this stack? I think making this capture will eventually result in a wall from black being dropped. If white captures down, black captures over, white captures up, then black's going to have to drop a wall. Probably here, if they do that, white's going to spread this left, make a positive flat count differential move. Positive flat count differential move, probably like a +2 move or something like that, I'm seeing. And maybe a +3. However, oh, and those +2, +3 moves, those are all talked about in the flat count differential or FCD video of Tak University. Now, it looks like white has decided, no, I'm not going to let you drop a wall here and mess with this stack. I'm going to drop the wall first and capture over and liberate that captive and really force this tack threat on you. And I think that's a really smart play. Keeps control on your side. Don't have to wait for that full capture war to play out in order to get the control of that stack, and just drop that wall before all that happens. All right, we do see black capturing up here. This is a tack threat. So now we see there was white flat here. Black brings the top two, 2e2 plus. This connects from f2 all the way. Now black brings that capstone down onto b3. That is a road, or can bring that capstone all the way down to b2, also a road. White can stop that by capturing right or capturing up. I would suggest capturing right, because capturing up just ends up with black placing at d2, and that renews the threat. So white captures right here. Now black can immediately renew this threat by capturing up with f2, but it doesn't really do much because that wall is just going to come right up onto e3. And it's going to be a tough spot. Tough spot here for black now that white's got that wall in place next to that stack. Trying to think of something outside the box maybe that'll work. I don't think bringing the capstone down onto b3 or b2 will do that much. Really b3. Don't want to do b2. Oh, he's bringing the flat up. All right, he's saying you got to bring over one of these pieces here on the b file to stop my road in the vertical direction. You can't drop a wall here because then this capstone is going to just smash it. White brings that capstone left. Now what's black's play? I can see white potentially playing b1 here on the next turn. That would give them attack threat. But what is black's play here to stop what's going to be coming? That was sort of a last-ditch effort, I'd say, to keep this wall from capturing the stack. But now what did that move accomplish? Is it just delaying the inevitable, or is there some greater play at work? It looks pretty rough right now for black. I think even playing at b1 for black wouldn't work too great just because there is such a big potential here for positive flat count differential moves from white. White can make a +3 move really at any point right now, dropping this stack all the way down, bringing the whole thing up, dropping 1, 3, 1. So 5, yeah, 5a5 minus 1, 3, 1. Would be a +3 move for white. No, sorry, +4 move. My bad, +4 move. Because it would be revealing 2 white flats, covering up 2 black flats. Okay, so b1 was placed, and then white says, great, now I can capture up on top of this stack here. Now, white probably going to be spreading this out, jumping up, taking 5e3 plus 1, 1, 3. And that would leave a white here, 2 whites here, and then the 2 blacks and the white wall here. And that would connect here, going for that, that tack thread in the horizontal direction that white can complete by spreading that capstone to the right and smashing that wall here on c5. Black placing there. I think this is the point where white makes that wall spread move. Yeah, I think that's it, because white does have momentum here. Black can make attack threat on the next move, but not if white already has their own. Unless white is focused on this vertical threat now. Looks like white just plays at d2. Black can make their attack threat now by placing at c1. I think I know what's happening. White wanted to be able to capture right onto e2, I think. All right, so now that's going to come down, and this will spread left, capture on top of d2 and also create their own vertical tack threat at the same time. Not only a vertical tack threat, but I think a Tinue tack threat, unless black does something about this beforehand. Yeah, this looks like the beginning of the end here for black. We also take a look. There's 3 minutes separating the times of these two players. 9.5 minutes, 6.5 minutes here. Black been taking a little bit of extra time trying to figure out what the best moves are, how to combat this strong position here from white. But it's been really, really tough for a long time. Ever since white was able to get that hard capstone and that capstone in just that great position, it has been really, really difficult for black to come back from this. Black making a play. Coming down with that capstone here. Now, this is doing a couple things. This is threatening this stack with a smash from black, but it's also opening up a position for white to be able to make that tack threat just by placing here at b4. Black can surely come up and recover that and go for flats there, but I'm not sure if that's what's going to play out here. Yep, he's going to come right back up. Now, we'll take a look at the flat count. 1, 2, 3. 14 for black. White now making a tack threat. This looks pretty close to over to me. So 12 for white in terms of flat count. Black's going to have to do some things to stop this, and I don't know that they can do anything really. What's the play? Maybe throw the wall over to e5 and then eventually throw the capstone over to e4 to stop those? I think that's the only real way he's got, or that black has to stop all of those. Yeah, I think this is, it's not Tinue, but it's really bleak right now for black. I think the move is to throw that d5 stack all the way over to f5. Instead, he brings that f2 flat up onto f3. That does stop this for the moment. White fills in. Renews that tack threat. That means black can come up with this 2f3 stack onto f4. So 2f3 plus. And that would make it not immediately renewable, I think. No, it would be immediately renewable. White would just fill in at f3. Huh. What is the play now? Maybe come right with e4? And then when white fills in at e4, you bring the wall over onto e5? This is a really tough position to be in for black. White has so much control, so many options to go for. Black does come up. White will probably fill in at f3 now, continue that trend of getting flats down on the board, really low on reserves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reserves left for white. Can immediately renew this tack threat just by placing here at f3. Or by capturing left with this wall stack. I think the f3 is what they want to do, though. Lower the reserves so they can end this game quicker. However, black, I think, may be up in terms of flat count. I think they're up by 2, so that is something to be aware of. All right, black brings that wall over as expected. Now onto e5. This is where white can no longer immediately renew this threat. Actually, they can. They can immediately renew a threat by placing here at d3. The threat would be smashing here onto c5 with this capstone stack. And so d3 would continue that. And it would also keep black from placing at d3. Black placing at d3 would be a tack threat for them. Placing at d3 allows black to throw this capstone right and onto d4 and make that connection. So white probably wants to play at d3 to make their own threat and keep black from making a black threat here. White taking his time, trying to figure out what to do. Ineria has proven that she can hold on to this situation for a long time and really draw this out, kind of force mistakes out of her opponent. If she can get MediocreTaborlin to overlook something and she's able to squeak in a win here when he's been dominating this whole game, that would be a victory for sure. That's when I like to play my sneakier moves, is when I make it seem like I'm in a defensive move and I'm playing purely defensively, that I'm really making a threat. Now this is where black can play at d3 and make their tack threat. Though white now is poised with this wall to be able to capture up onto d3 in a positive flat count differential move. But, hey, it's worth a shot, right? Gonna go for it. Ineria does place at d3. She's hoping that white misses this road threat. White did not miss the road threat. Definitely saw that one coming. What to do for black? Black could potentially toss this capstone right anyway onto d4 and threaten to smash this. I don't think that'll be the case. That would result in some bad flat count differential moves, but I think black might finally be behind on flat count. Let's see here. So 13 for black. 12 for white. White can make a +3 move here, or a +2 move. I think the +3 move would be fine, just because, sure, it would invite black to smash with the capstone, but that would actually result in a road for white. So couldn't do that if white were to make this +3 move. And that would put them far enough ahead on flats that white could probably run away with this. But it's also good to just get those flats on the board. Probably placing maybe at e6. And I say e6 so they can just push for pressure for the horizontal threat up above. Whether that be e6, d6, c6, or e6, d6, d5, kind of going around for the vertical. And I think d6 would be a fine placement as well. It's far away from, it can't be immediately recaptured. Also, it goes for both the horizontal and vertical directions. So I think d6 is a pretty solid placement here, especially when you've already got this strong foundation of your position. Don't need to worry about what your opponent does now. Could also just go for this +3 move, going left. I don't see anything wrong with that +3 move. Places instead at d5. d5, again, going for that vertical threat here. Wants to play at d6 next. Black plays up at d6 now, trying to stop that. I think there's potential for black coming down with this flat. Again, trying to force this d4 play. If white comes up with that wall stack, then black can go for some sort of smash and recover all those flats, those captives, and do something with that. White fills in at e6. Probably wants to fill in at c6 on the next turn, go for that tack threat. If black does come down with d6, then white can again fill in at d6 or c6, go for that that horizontal threat yet again. I think this is basically over. I'm not sure what else black can do here. Let's take a look at the flat count yet again, because I forget. 15 for black. 14 for white. White has 2 reserves left, but they do have a +3 move available to them. White places down at c1. Yeah, white's got this in the bag. They have the +3 move here. They've also got a +4 move with the capstone. They've got the flat game in the bag. Black going for their own positive flat count differential moves here. $14 for white. 15 for black. White could play a flat here and draw, but he's got the guaranteed win if he just moves this wall stack over or moves the capstone stack down. Either of those moves would guarantee him the win. He would win on the following turn. I think that's the play. I think the play here is actually to take this capstone stack and bring it down, because that would be a +4 move. +2 white flats, -2 black flats as a +4 move. Again, in the flat count differential video of Tak University, we discuss what +3 and +4 move and stuff like that is. So yeah, white does it, goes for that +4 move. Now he's got the guaranteed win. On the next turn, no matter what black does, white can place their last flat and win with flats. Really, really well played. MediocreTaborlin was in control the entire game. Really, like he had a lot of control from the very beginning. Really, really well played. And Ineria surprisingly stuck it out through 40-something moves, 41 moves. Was able to survive that long, even with such a dominant play from white. Really shows that these two players are very evenly matched here and played a really great game. So well played, both players, and congratulations to MediocreTaborlin for winning game 1 of this 2-game match in the semifinals of the 2022 Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. Really, really well played, really excellently done. And thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description for all things TAK, especially the TAK Discord server, which is the community hub and where you can find all sorts of resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be on playtak.com, just like this, or in the Discord itself playing asynchronously. You can just play one move a day if you want to. Great for when you have just a limited amount of time per day to play. So thanks again, and until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.